very well in Titled Tuesdays, historically has won the tournament lots of times, but from what I'm familiar with, he hasn't won after they changed the time format to be 5 minutes and no increment. So it will be exciting to see how he will handle his biggest challenge yet so far, which is playing as Magnus, but Magnus hasn't showed up, so I'm worried that he will, the clock should be starting very soon.
Yeah, it's Magnus's wardrobe.
He's running. He's running back. He made it to the board on time. Oh, but he's lost 30 seconds.
Oh, classic Magnus.
Oh, gosh.
I swear he does this on purpose, just to give the opponent some hope. We see Magnus eventually start with the English opening. That means pushing his c-pawn forward. And then now the fianchetto. And this is very rare, this last move, bringing the knight out from Sarana. It's kind of a queen's gambit declined, but kind of not. And Magnus... Yeah, how often do we see him do this, though? Like, it's as if he activates God mode only after giving the opponent a bit of a handicap, a bit of a head start.
It's the Magnus gambit of giving away 30 seconds for no apparent reason other than psychological warfare. And let's see now how the opening progresses. It looks like he's settling into the fact that he is in the middle of a tournament again now.
Yeah, and there we go. Alexey Sarana, after a trade of pawns in the center, now offering a trade of knights. And Magnus, although he isn't occupying the center too much, he's going for what we call hyper-modern chess, with both bishops fianchettoed on the long diagonals. He's going to try and apply pressure from afar, and he's extremely flexible. Magnus, at some point, could push the e-pawn forward, the d-pawn forward. Maybe we'll see a minority attack of these two little foot soldiers on the left side push. There we go, already with a3 prepares to gain a bit of space on this side of the board. Magnus is just trying to stay as compact and versatile as possible in these early stages.
Okay, I was trying to hear what Magnus was saying there, but let's let the chess speak for itself for the time being. And Magnus, he has been able to adjust his tempo a bit, but I also feel like Sarana, he's using the fact that Magnus was 30 seconds late to the match. He hasn't let that advantage slip, so he's been keeping up the pressure on the clock.
Yeah, and Sarana is a really interesting player. With white, he's extremely ambitious. With black, he's much more solid. He just tries to shut things down, and Magnus made a bit of a face because he knows the bishop pair is about to disappear. It's going to be queen and knight versus queen and bishop again. We saw him grind that down in a previous round. But he doesn't look too thrilled. Here, black has got 0 weaknesses. This wall of pawns totally blunting the white bishop. And yeah, this just looks like a very level position. Slightly better according to the eval bar, but Magnus, he will need to squeeze water out of the stone.
Everybody knows that late Magnus is even stronger than on-time Magnus, I guess, according to our viewers. And the other discussion that's going on today in our comment field is whether or not Magnus, can we say now that he is the greatest chess player of all time? He's won 20 World Championship titles. He's been #1 for 15 years. He doesn't want to say it himself for obvious reasons, and he hasn't retired yet, but can we say that he is the greatest of all time throughout history?
Yeah, there's many arguments to be made for it. You just need to look at his CV, all of his tournament wins. But I guess against it, he was never as dominant in classical chess as Kasparov was. For example, back in the day, Kasparov winning almost every tournament for 10, 15 years. And Magnus, his World Championship matches may be less one-sided than some of Kasparov's. But yeah, in Blitz Rapid, undisputed GOAT already for sure. Interesting to see what everyone at home is saying, though, as well, as we see Magnus push his pawn forward to b6. This is quite high risk from the world #1. He supported that pawn with his queen, with his rook, and he's kind of cut the black queen side in half. Black has a rook and a queen that would love to protect each other, pawns that would love to protect each other, but everything is kind of just lost coordination due to the presence of this white pawn. And Magnus, I think, will be gaining in confidence now.
Yeah, 97. Kind of semi-hoping he wouldn't do that.
Just as we say, he's getting some confidence. He did predict a good move from Sarana there. So, and Sarana has still maintained this 30-second lead that he's had throughout the entire game. So I feel like he certainly hasn't given up hope, and he's putting pressure on Magnus's pawn. How is Magnus going to defend it?
Yeah, I don't think Magnus can defend it anymore. It's attacked 3 times. No way to add protection to it. The way Magnus might get compensation is either to take a pawn in the center, although doubled pawns there for white wouldn't be too healthy, or, as I was about to say, this move, with some pins up the sleeve. I don't really see what he's doing now, though. We'll see a rook exchange. Sarana does have everything covered. Maybe a trade of rooks now, and then the black rook getting out of the pin from this bishop. It's too uncomfortable, that diagonal. He's going to defend everything, Sarana. And I think he should be able to hold this game, especially with his time advantage. But this is the stage where Magnus tends to up the gears, kind of up his level. Oof, this might be the first time Magnus drops points, I would say. But I've said that before and been wrong.
Yeah. And Sarana actually spending quite a bit of time now. For the first time, he doesn't have that 30-second lead. It's been reduced by a couple of seconds. And it's now Magnus's turn to figure out what pieces need to be traded off here to give him the best chances. But he is a pawn down, and he doesn't look too hopeful.
Rook b6, no, it doesn't work. So we're going to go for this.
I feel like that kind of mumblingness. He trades the queens of all the pieces he could trade. So I don't know if I could read that Magnus is not too happy with how the game is developing.
Yeah, this is an endgame, and Magnus normally thrives there, but it's also quite a forceful endgame where we will see some quick exchanges. The only way to win this pawn, for example, will be to trade off the bishop for knight. I'm expecting the black king to start centralizing soon. Magnus's structure is not good. These white pawns are all weak on the left half of the board. So yeah, that combined with the clock situation means that Magnus probably would be happy with the draw here. Of course, he'll try for more, but he won't be able to push this too hard. Sarana doing everything right, just totally neutralizing Magnus so far.
Yeah, and we've also seen that Magnus, sometimes he isn't completely objective in the way when he's trying to consider draws like early on in the tournament, because he's always has this goal of 11 out of 11 in the back of his mind. So he can sometimes struggle to kind of accept the fact that a game early on, as early as round 5, could be a draw. But right now they're trading off pawns into a rook endgame, so I guess he must be kind of realizing what's about to happen here.
He knows that this is a dead draw with best play, especially if the 2 pawns on this left side ever disappear. Magnus is keeping them alive for now, because if the black rook ever gets deflected, distracted, then there's some chances. Magnus is the only player in the world capable of winning a position like this, but it's so drawn right now, and Sarana is just going to happily sit with his king, and he's going to push his pawn forward, and how's Magnus going to make any progress? The black rook is just a fantastic guardian, keeping white's pieces tied down. Dead drawn position, but suddenly the clock. Suddenly Magnus might put his rook on a square like this one. There we go, defending everything, and march his king over. Oh no, we've seen Magnus win this type of thing before. Sarana, what have you done?
Oh, and they're both down to around a minute. Do you think Magnus would go for a flagging method here in this situation?
He will try. He will definitely try.
Oh, and Arjun Erigaisi wins again and now has a perfect 5 out of 5 score. Not that Magnus is paying attention to that, because he needs to be focused on this game. But if Magnus doesn't win, then Erigaisi will be in the lead alone.
Ooh, big moment for Magnus. This was the key move for Sarana to get rid of the white pawn. And now it's a total dead draw, total symmetry. And Magnus is a few seconds down, so I think he should bail out. He should try and get this game drawn here and now, but he's blundered. He's allowed the black pieces to come in. Magnus's king was too far away.
What?
He's losing his pawns.
Oh, let's hear his reaction.
That was completely and utterly unnecessary.
Wow. Magnus is lost. The rook will cut off the white king.
Oh, my goodness.
It's moving out the way. This g-pawn's going to decide the game. This is going to end up in the very well-known Lucina position.
And it usually goes the other way. I feel like I'm not used to seeing Magnus in this situation.
Yeah, he said it was unnecessary. He pushed a little bit too hard. If he just tried to repeat the position 3 moves earlier, it would have been a dead draw. Sarana would have loved that. But Magnus is about to resign, and there we go.
Trying to win. As though, like, even trying to win, I was just kind of even going through the motions. And here, yeah, it's lost. Repeat.
Okay, so it seems like he isn't taking the loss too